shape, it will be U-shaped. The third point I'd like to make is this. I think what the government should do, in view of the potential unemployment that can come up, and luckily we have 2 integrated resorts, and we estimated that there will be 20,000 jobs available, and I think it is important that now we should work very closely. We integrated 2 integrated resorts, especially workforce development agencies, to get the locals into the employment, to get the housewives, to get the senior workers, to get those who are interested in services sector to be trained. I think that is very important. And also construction project, which we postponed to 2012. I think we can consider to bring it back, although there will be leakages, but it helps. It's not going to be that helpful, but it helps. And I think it is important that we continue to put on our infrastructure. But SMEs loans, I understand, because of this environment, the SME, although the interest rate environment is low, but banks are now putting very high risk premium on SMEs, so SMEs are increasingly finding the funding costs are very expensive. The point number 4 I'd like to make, that I think that all countries, especially in East Asia, we should not make the same difference, we should not make the same mistake like what we did in 1997. I think East Asia countries, especially China and India, they should continue on to spend and build on their domestic demand, on their infrastructure. This is a great opportunity for them to do that. And East Asia economy should not be supporting the stock markets. As I say, it will be roller coasters. Money will be wasted there. I think it's better to put in the infrastructure, in education, in physical infrastructure as well. And my final point is this, that I think now that since this crisis needs a global cooperation and we need money from East Asia, the surpluses, whether it's sovereign wealth fund from Asia or whether it's the foreign exchange surpluses, but there's no free lunch. If you do want money from East Asia, I think East Asian governments and East Asian views should be incorporated in international agencies such as IMF, Bank for International Settlement, and World Bank. In the area, for example, that we should have the right to decide what should be the agenda of reform, and we should also look at the guarantee of bonds for those companies who need help and to be guaranteed by international agencies. I think I'll stop here. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. We have about 10 minutes for questions. May I suggest that if any one of you wants to ask a question, come up to one of the microphones. Please introduce yourself, say who you are, and ask a brief question. You may direct it to the entire panel, or you may direct it to any one particular panelist. Gentleman right here.
Yu Guang, visiting economics department at NTU now, from Monash University. I agree with the general comments of all the speakers, especially the last speaker, Tan Ki Gap. But I disagree with, I think, Professor Huang about that if you are older and retiring, you may want to withdraw money to be safe, because I think it's already too late. And especially for Singapore, I agree with most other speakers about the strength of Singapore. Singapore economy is very strong. There may be good reasons for the financial crisis from the US perspective. They have problem. But we don't have problem. We may still be affected because of international trade and so on, but not by that big extent. So in my view, Singapore shares has already become too cheap. So if we withdraw now, you are missing out on the coming back. So rather, if you have money now, if I have money, I buy Singapore shares. Thank you.
Perhaps we should get Professor Huang a chance to
I'm not suggesting you are near determined to withdraw money. I'm just saying if you are very risk averse and you are near retirement, then it might make some sense to do that, but not necessarily. I'm not encouraging you to do that. In fact, my view is if you, it's better to stick it out and, in the market and probably do better in the long term. But as I said, the short term, for some people, if they really have some needs, they really depends on the income from such investment, then you might want to be on the safe side to cash out some, but not all of it. Okay.
Let's take other questions. Any other questions?
Hi.
Come up to the mic, please. This young lady right in front.
One
where?
Can I ask a question first?
Sorry. You go first. You go second. Go ahead.
Very good morning to all the panels. My question is really simple. How this will affect the job market, especially in the middle and next year? And I would like to address this question to Professor Tan Ki Giap. Thank you.
Professor Tan.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, about the job market, it's just, I don't know which sector you're looking at, but certainly if you are interested in services, there are both high-end and low-end jobs available in the integrated resource, 20,000 of them. If you want the detail, I do have those breakdown of the type of jobs. But if you are talking about the unemployment, I think we have a large pool of foreign workers simply because we have made the cake to grow so big that we do not have enough Singaporeans to work on it. So now that the situation is changing, and the fact that the two integrated resorts are recruiting, and 20,000 is a very significant job, because if you look at unemployment even at the high of say 3 to 4%, you're talking about 30, 40,000. But I think what is more important here, if you're asking me about the unemployment or the employment prospect, I would say that we must concentrate to get the senior workers, the housewives, back to jobs, because these are the categories going to be hit very hard, and they can do best in the services sector. For our NTU graduate, I'm sure we don't have to worry. In Nanyang Business School, we are #1 in Singapore, so we always will be the first choice in the financial market.
Go ahead. Thank you for your patience.
Hi, my name is Jeremy. I'm an actuarial and economics major.
Would you step back from the mic a little bit? Thank you.
Okay, is this better? Okay, my question is this. Previously, Singapore has been through several crises, and every time the crisis lasts only for a few quarters. And this time there's another crisis, and in a sense, even for the Asian financial crisis, Singapore was not being classified as one of the countries that's facing a crisis because of its policies. So it seems like it is possible for Singapore to bounce back, especially in this time it is with its various policies. So do you think that the market, okay, cause especially for the financial market, I'm just wondering if it will bounce back very quickly because of like what Prof. Chandra has said, that the worst is behind us. So do you think that from here we are possibly looking at an upward trend? Yep. Because yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what the question is that you asked, but would you just restate what's the question you'd want us to respond to?
Okay. Do you think that Singapore will be able to rebound back?
Thank you. That's very helpful. Anyone care to take a shot at that? Winston?